Today, Arsenal were crowned the champions of Europe after an absolutely historic Champions League final, a 1-0 win over Barcelona, the two-time winners back-to-back, and Arsenal thumped them thanks to a Stina Blackstenius 74th minute goal, just 7 minutes after she subbed on for the first time since 2007, 18 years. And now Arsenal have lifted the trophy. They are the only English side to ever do that in the Women's Champions League, and now they have two for their cabinet. Our very own Christine Cupo, she gave us her reaction after this historic win.
Yes, I know. Jump scare. What, a girl can't have hobbies? I'm obviously going to the Beha, the hoedown. Hee-haw, whatever. Arsenal women, I knew that they could do this. I said that they could do this. I've never been happier to be proven right, but the way that they finessed this final is above and beyond what I could have ever dreamed, okay? Defensive masterclass. They controlled the tempo of an entire Champions League final against a Barcelona side, which are absolutely stacked. The chances that they came up with, I laughed, I cried, I laughed again, I cried again. The camera panned to Kim Little once the whistle was blown, and then I started sobbing again. That's a topic for a whole other day. Players that deserve a hero's warm welcome in history, whether or not they've won a Champions League. But here we are. Renee Slager's only the second manager in history to win in their debut season. I'm going to probably cry again over the course of this week, but I could not be prouder of this team and what they managed to execute.
Christine, thank you for that. I mean, she looked fabulous.
I'm jealous. She's going to Cowboy Carter. Arsenal in the back, Cowboy Carter to celebrate. You couldn't ask for a better day. It's very Cupo coded. I love it.
Absolutely. So that was Christine Cupo. She's Darian Jenkins. I'm Lisa Carlin. Let's talk about this Champions League final, D, because Arsenal came into it essentially the underdogs. Barcelona had won it 3 times in the last 4 years. They were looking to make it 3 in a row, yet the English side, the Gunners, they get it done. What was the main game plan that you noticed?
They defended life and limb. Every single thing was on the line for Arsenal this game. And mind you, they hadn't played since May 10th. They've had so much time to corral, to tighten up defensively. I mean, last 3 games at home, they conceded a lot. They've really gone down. So to have those moments, they've conceded 12 goals, in their last 3 matches in the WSL.
That's a lot.
Now, coming back into Champions League after that, having all of those weeks of preparation, you really saw how much they've been working on it, and they were committed. And to me, it's not even that much of a tactical thing that they adjusted. Yes, there were moments, but it was the pride that they had in defending, the pride that they had for 90 minutes. And I think when they held Barca off for 45 minutes, that's when I was like, you know what? I think they're going to do it, because Barca started to look frustrated. You could see it in the body language. It wasn't coming together, and it kept giving Arsenal moments of hope, and you just knew it was just going to be 1 second. They were going to put one away, and ultimately they did.
That's all it took, was one chance and one moment for Arsenal and Stina Blackstenius to ultimately score the game-winning goal, just one in this match. You mentioned the tactics, not that different. I mean, different for how Arsenal plays in league play, but so mentally exhausting to be that turned on defensively, locked in with a 5-back at times. That's how Arsenal was set up. And they didn't give Barcelona much space inside the box. They kept dropping back. They were so deep at times. But man, that is so tiring to do against a team like Barcelona that's just going to pass, ping the ball around. They're used to tiring teams out. But what was that moment of frustration that you saw from Barcelona? Where did you see it?
They kept continuing to try. I mean, they hit the crossbar with Claudia Pina. They were having shots. They had really good opportunities, but last-ditch saves, last-ditch tackles from the back line of Arsenal. And they just looked like they couldn't break the mental fortitude that Arsenal had. And after every single block, every save, every time they made a transition, they shut something down against Barcelona, they stripped the ball off of Bonmatí or Alexei Putellas, it injected a new level into Arsenal. And I don't think Barcelona could handle it. They just started to look a little bit more and more defeated as the game went on, and they were still creating chances. Barcelona, we're talking about, still the best team in the world in my opinion, but they could not get it done today. And you have to give so much credit to Arsenal, because it is horrible to defend for 90 minutes and hardly have the ball, and you have very specific moments that you can go forward, and that's all that they're going to give you. They did it.
Players like Mariona Caldente, who had just won it a year ago with Barcelona, now winning it with Arsenal. Caldente said that they struggled together. Arsenal as a group struggled together. The head coach Renee Sledgers also used that word struggled because they were put under pressure during this game. I mean, if you look at the stats, Dee, Barcelona dominated in possession, which they typically do in games, but shots on targets, chances created, every single phase of this game felt like from just the eye test, Barcelona had the advantage, yet Arsenal was able to pull it out. Who did a lot of that pressure lie on the shoulders of for Arsenal? Who stood out?
To me, it was Captain Leah Williamson. She was absolutely fantastic in this match. Her quiet confidence with even her just nudging players as they got going. Here you see a picture of her, just how emotional it was after this match. But from the jump, I watched her body check a couple players when the ball went over the top, her last-ditch tackles. She had 14 clearances in this match. And mind you, she's been with this club for 19 years. She started as a mascot coming out when they won the last Champions League.
How crazy is that?
Insanity. I love these full round circle stories, but she now is captaining the team, bringing home another Champions League. I think it was emotional for her in the way that we even talked about NWSL last year where the team wanted to do it for Marta with Orlando. She's one of those players that you want to win this for this player. They've given everything to the club, but she led so much defensively and you just saw her riling everybody else up. And it was just that energy Arsenal needed to get it done.
Two players that I think the team of Arsenal really rallied around is Leah Williamson and also Kim Little.
Oh, yeah.
Post-game,
we have to give her love.
You have to, because post-game she said that this was the highlight of her career. And yes, it is winning Champions League, but when you look at Kim Little and what she's done at the club level and personally, individually, she's won a lot. She's also been at Arsenal since 2008. She came the year after Arsenal won their first Champions League 18 years ago, and now look at her with that trophy. Ooh, smiles don't get any sweeter than that.
We've got to give some love to Jen Beattie because she's somebody that has always given Kim Little love. I know they're close. They played together for many years, but she said she's the unsung hero of this team. Got player of the match against Lyon. So then to come out and ball against Barcelona when everybody was doubting that Arsenal could do it. I mean, it's Barcelona we're talking about. They dominate in every way. But for her to lead that after the long, brilliant career she's had, it's the cherry on top for these players that we've all grown up watching and loved seeing them play. And I love it. I think it's the story that hit all of our hearts today
100%.
Watching this match is for these players how much this means, and even for the country. Like thinking about the little girls that are watching these players now that get to look at their idols and watch them win a Champions League. It's inspiring. I think we're watching something just in women's soccer right now, especially moments like this, watching the stadium, all of the fans. It's a really special moment for the game moving forward, and I love that we got to witness it and talk about it today, especially for Arsenal.
Dee,
you get emotional? You and Christine.
I don't look quite as fabulous as Chris right now. This was a Cinderella story through and through for Arsenal, and a lot of it stems from their manager because they had turnover in the fall last year. Renee Sledgers moved from an assistant to an interim, and then in January, Renee Sledgers named the head coach of Arsenal. And she just won a Champions League. It is so difficult to do that as a manager. How did she get buy-in?
I can't wait to see what she's going to do with a full year under her belt with this team. Winning a Champions League, and it's only been a few months. I think she came in and injected belief into this team. I don't know if this team had the same level of confidence in themselves. Here you see this graphic of Arsenal before a sad Mariona Caldente, and then with Renee Sledger holding up the Champions League trophy. I mean, but the goals, 17 goals to 94, goals allowed 10 to 34. It's a massive change, but I think when you have a manager that comes in that knows the game, that knows you as a person and a player, you immediately get that buy-in. And knowing that, hey, we're on a journey together. Yes, she said, we've struggled. Coming back against Lyon, the most decorated club in women's soccer, to come back and then win a Champions League. I think now this team has so much more faith in their ability and what they can do. They can compete in Europe at the highest level is what she brought this team. And like I said, the sky's the limit because you did this in a couple of months. Imagine a couple of years.
It is so cool to see. Steph Catley, defender for Arsenal, she talked about how Renee Sledgers came in and she actually put the onus on everyone as a group and said, we are all in this together. Everyone has to step up just a little bit, get bought into what we're trying to do, which is win Champions League at the end of the season. And that for Catley, she said, was we all took ownership of it. Like, okay, this is our team, our group, our goal to win Champions League. And it just so happens that Renee Sledgers now gets to lead us there. And they did it. Ultimately,
I got chills.
All it took was one moment from Stina Blackstenius, a 1-0 win for Arsenal to take down Barcelona, and Arsenal are the champions of Europe.